Welcome to Spotlight Sessions, where we shine a
What's
light
your
on
story?
incredible. What does accessibility mean to you?
What's your mission?
And can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Aaron? Hello and welcome all to accessiBe's Spotlight Sessions. These are conversations with disability changemakers and leaders helping to make a more inclusive world. I'm your host for today's episode. My name is Superior Arden and I head up accessiBe's nonprofit partnership program. I'm very excited for our guest today. This has been a long time coming. So welcome, Aaron Espinoza.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me talk to you and everyone else.
I'm so excited. So why don't we jump in, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Aaron?
Yeah, so I'm currently a student studying computer science and sociology. I am involved with the ACB, specifically the Next Generation affiliate. I'm currently the chair of their advocacy committee. I refer to myself as a super blind advocate because I'm involved in everything to do with blindness. I also do some web accessibility testing for the California Council of Blind Students. Hopefully, I can turn that into a career. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I do and who I am.
Amazing. How did you get into testing?
Um, I just got into testing because people they had issues about websites. Okay, hey, I found this issue on like a website or application, but I need a way to kind of tell them more in detail and specifically like what success criteria it violates, not just tell them, hey, there's a problem here, and kind of helping them to maybe show whoever we approach, this is how you fix it. Because it's one thing just pointing it out, then I think it's better to also know how to fix it as well. So I think that's how I got involved with it. Just students coming to me and saying, hey, I got this issue with this website. I'm not too sure if it's accessible or not, or if it's just me that I don't know how to use my technology or something like that. But that's how I got into it, just helping out other students.
That's awesome. And is that what led you into computer science, or did you decide on computer science before?
Kind of both, to be honest. I like technology, and then yeah. So I think a little bit of both.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing. So tell us a little bit about the NextGen affiliate and what exactly is the ACB?
Yeah. So the ACB is the acronym is the American Council of the Blind. They're a consumer group here in America, one of the largest ones, and the Next Gen affiliate is an affiliate of them. So they're our parent organization, the ACB, and Next Generation is aimed towards people that are 18 to 40, so kind of a younger group, and it's in the title Next Generation. So these are the people that are going to end up taking over ACB and lead us into the future. So that's kind of what the group is all about, just a younger version of ACB, so we can do things that maybe ACB is not working on for whatever reason. So that's what we're all about.
So the name NextGen really does come to life.
Yep, it sure does.
That's awesome. So how did you get involved specifically with NextGen?
Um, I specifically got involved with them just because I wanted a group that was similar to me, like had the same goals and stuff like that, kind of the same age range. And I like some of the stuff that they were doing in general with ACB as well. I believe in a lot of stuff that they believe in and are working on.
Mhm. So what is the value of young professionals or young adults talking about accessibility?
So accessibility wise, definitely trying to push for legislation, making websites and applications, online services accessible. We actually just got back from Washington, D.C. in the beginning of March. We lobbied our Congress members for the Websites and Software Application Accessibility Act. I think I got that right. So yeah, basically saying, hey, we want these rules to be put in place because currently it's kind of the Wild West when it comes to web accessibility and enforcing them.
That's so true. Why do you think it's kind of like the Wild West?
I think it's because there's these law firms going around suing businesses and companies, they'll hire blind people. Hey, check out this website. Even if you don't plan to use it, or even if you do, it's kind of like a shakedown. Also, businesses, they want to make their websites accessible and mobile applications. They're not just, but I mean, there's guidelines, but there's no like real enforcement on anyone's behalf. You have to keep suing them, and we can't keep doing that. It's gonna take forever for us to sue like the ACB, NFB, any other organization, even blind people themselves. If you just sue your way into accessibility, there's too many businesses and companies to go that way. It's better for there to be a law.
I really agree with that. And I think it goes back to something you said earlier that's super valuable. You don't want to just have it pointed out to you. You want to also fix it or remediate it, make sure that it's actually working for everyone.
Right? Yeah, definitely. I think it also go back to not just double A of WCAG. Like, yeah, that's the minimum, but you should definitely aim higher for AAA probably. Um,
So, have there been any interesting developments with the launch of WCAG 2.2?
I mean, just some new success criteria, or maybe I think it's just one that got taken out. I think it was the link purpose or the link parsing one. I need to double check on that, but I think it's just some updated stuff on it.
Mhm. So, when you hear the word accessibility, what comes to mind for you?
Yeah, I definitely go back to the actual like the definition that I learned about and memorize and think about. Basically, that the widest group of users should have access to online websites, online services, mobile applications, no matter their abilities or disabilities. It's definitely the end result of an inclusive design process. So just going back to the actual definition that I learned when I was learning about web accessibility.
Did you ever take specific courses or do you rely more on lived experience?
A little bit of both, just because if I just do live experiences, like, yeah, I have the actual experience. Hey, I'm a blind person, so I know what I'm talking about. But I think when it comes to courses, they might teach me. They won't teach me life experiences, but they'll teach me how to do something, or like actual standards or guidelines or laws or stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely took courses in addition to just being a blind person and having to deal with inaccessible websites and stuff like that. Like, to be honest, whenever I find a website that's accessible, I'm actually surprised. I'm just numb. I just expect to run into an accessible website.
I know the reality is that so few websites actually do this, and a big part of it is a lack of education and awareness in this field. So relying on the people with disabilities to find and resolve the solutions is a completely unfair way for the whole accessibility industry or engine to work.
Yeah, yeah, that, and even if you do try to help out businesses or companies, they might even not take it seriously when you do write a report to them. Hey, this is what's wrong with your website, and this is how you can fix it. All right, yeah, well, we'll get to it when we get to it.
And so it's not even it takes them time to they need enough people to reach out to them or make a claim about it in order for them to actually move about it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
From my own personal experience, before I was at accessiBe, I was working at a nonprofit, and you might know this from your experience with nonprofits, but things tend to move a little bit slow, but also everyone wears a lot of different hats, and they gave me the responsibility of updating the website. I'm not a developer or a coder, but so I said, this isn't something that I'm so familiar with, but let me take a stab at it. And I was building the website according to what I thought made sense aesthetically, logically, but the reality is, I had no awareness about what web accessibility even was. So I was building a website that headers and footers were all over the place. None of the images had descriptions or alt text. All of the buttons were light blue with white font that said click here, no description of what you were clicking on. I essentially built the least accessible website of all time without even realizing it. And you can laugh at me, that's perfectly fine.
No, that's
But
fine.
but that's it, that I'm just one person, and
Yeah.
if there's not enough awareness and education about accessibility in the online space, how are we going to actually make a move? So it's really cool that you are grouped together with other young professionals to make a difference here.
Yeah, definitely. And even like an example for me, like I definitely think I know how to use my technology like NVDA or JAWS, and I can maybe try to make the website accessible for myself. But what about someone else that doesn't know how to use their technology as good? I can just say, like, I do hear this in the community. Oh, it's accessible for me, but that's you. Like I just said, like you're probably good at using your technology, but what about other people? Especially like in the blind community, since most of them are new to being blind. So that's something that kind of gets to me.
Hmm.
But yeah, I hear your point. Like someone that does know how to code and stuff, and I develop some websites. I think it's just different person to person, but having that standard will definitely help when it comes to making websites accessible.
Absolutely. So we have the law to look forward to, which is really cool. And I think a lot of regulation helps drive more innovation, which means that there's a lot more exciting stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree, and that'd be just the minimum when it comes to websites and making them accessible,
Mhm.
having the regulations there.
Absolutely. So my next question for you is, what do you wish people knew about people who are blind or with low vision?
Yeah, I definitely believe that we've already proven we can do anything. Blind and low vision people that have come before us, or even currently now, I think it's on society. They should assume that we can do something instead of thinking the opposite. Any other group, any other race, or members of whatever gender, they don't have to keep proving that they can do something. It's already assumed that they can do something. So I think it would just be that we've already proven we can do anything the same or better than our sighted peers.
I love that. And from your experience with NextGen, is there any memorable story or something that's had a lasting impact on you that you'd like to share today?
Yeah, definitely. When I attended the ACB National Convention and I saw the next generation members using their canes and getting all over the place independently, like I got to see what a independent blind person looks like. They didn't really need help getting anywhere. They can just use their skills, use their cane, use technology to get around places. I got to hear them about their lives, being active with their friends, their families, doing stuff, having jobs. That was pretty great to see them live lives, being able to do whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, not just sitting at home like the stereotypical blind person or the stereotype that people have of blind people, I should say.
Yeah, the assumption. And when we assume wrong. So it's good to have that exposure to the different types of communities so that you can learn from that as well.
Yeah, that's true.
When it comes, what benefit does ACB get from being a consumer-driven brand or organization?
A consumer, yeah. So yeah, I refer to it as a consumer organization or an advocacy organization, being that are calling themselves that. It's just so they can help people that are blind. So if they need resources or a group or just, it's mainly having a bigger group because I mean, one of the reasons I join and I think a lot of people join is knowing that you can only make so much of a difference as an individual, like as an individual advocate. You're much more stronger when you join a group. So that's what I kind of think.
That's a great answer. And regarding brands and businesses, what do you wish they did more of regarding access and inclusion?
Yeah, for access, definitely getting people with disabilities involved from the beginning so that everything is accessible. And for inclusion, having people with disabilities in positions where their voice actually matters and where it can make a difference so that whatever you're working on is inclusive to all.
I love that. That was beautiful. And if you could suggest one thing that everyone can do to make the world more inclusive, what would you say that would be?
I would say I kind of had trouble with this one, just thinking about something. There's so much. I would just say that no matter I, I would just say getting people involved with all different abilities and disabilities so that you can have all the different spectrums and so that everybody's included on whatever you're working on or whatever you're trying to do to be more inclusive.
Awesome. Aaron, it was such a pleasure to have you on the Spotlight Sessions. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me represent myself and the next generation affiliate.
Amazing. And to all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in. You can continue the conversation with us by subscribing to this channel or also following us on Instagram at accessiBe_community. We'll see you there.